Welcome to the Crafty Seas. Today we'll be sharing with you this super fun shaped card, and it's a fancy fold card, so it's also an easel card. So it'll stand up like this. It's a real showstopper on your mantelpiece this Christmas, but it's super easy to make. So stay tuned and let's get crafting. To make this card, you will need some circle dies, and for this I'm using the Crafter's Companion nesting circle dies. These are actually multimedia dies, and they cut up to 6 layers of fabric or card at the one time, so it's perfect for creating shaped card bases. And I'll be using the largest die from this set. I'm also going to be using another circle die, but this one has a lovely stitched detail. I'll be using the Vintage Snowman paper pad by Crafter's Companion. That can be any paper of your choice. And for my mat, I'm going to be using the Crafter's Companion Luxury Silver cardstock. Again, you can use any papers of your choice. And for the bauble part, top of the die, I'll be using this Chloe's Creative Bauble die set and a piece of white card. So let's get crafting. The first thing you want to do is to create your card base. And as I said, this is a shaped card base, but it's also an easel card. So to make this, you're going to need a piece of card folded on the tent fold. Here I'm just using a 6x6 card blank from my stash. And you're going to take your largest die, and we're just going to hang that ever so slightly over the top. As you can see there, we're just leaving a very small gap, and we're going to secure that with a little bit of washi tape and run that through our die cutting machine. Once it comes out the die cut, you can see the part that we haven't cut, and the reason we left that is to create our circle shaped card base. And really you could just leave it like this and make it a nice circle shaped card with your bauble detail, but I'm going to turn it into an easel card. So we'll just grab our scoreboard, and this will be the front section of the card, and we're just going to score that at the halfway point. So that's 2.5. Give that a little score. And a burnish. And there we go. We have the basics of our bauble shaped easel card. The next step is to create the front panel. And to do that, we used the same large circle die to cut out a piece of our shiny silver cardstock. And then I've used this smaller circle die with the stitch detail to cut out a piece of our designer paper from the Vintage Snowman paper pad. I'm going to stick these two together, and as it's a glittery cardstock, I'm going to use some double-sided tape and a little bit of tacky glue to join them together. And then what we're going to do is glue the bottom section here and attach that on. So we'll be back in just a second. I'll stick this all together and just line that up. It's the exact same size, so it should just line up perfectly. You can open your card just to check. Give it a good press down. And it's starting to take shape already. But next we need our little topper to make it look more like a bauble. And I've just cut these out in the same silver card using that Chloe's Creative die. And I'm just going to use my Crafter's Companion tape runner. And a little bit of wet glue. and attach that to the top of the card. It's starting to look more like a Christmas bauble. And I'm also going to add a little bow from the kit. And a little bow just to finish it off here. And that's the front of the card, looking beautiful already, but I think we can add a little bit more winter sparkle and charm. So from my stash, I have dug out this metallic watercolour set, some glitter glue and pearl effect stickles, and the Spectrum Noir glitter pen, sparkle pen, and I'm going to just jazz this up a little bit. So as you can see here, there's some lovely little lanterns shining in the snow. So I'm just going to take some of the gold metallic watercolour. I'm just using one of these little water brushes that you can get from the pound shop and art shops, and they even sell them in TK Maxx. So I'm just going to put a little bit of water into the palette, pick that up, and just touch that over the areas here where that light is shining through. And it just gives it a lovely little subtle gold shine when the light hits it. And I'll take it down the edge of this star as well, I think. And there's a little lantern hiding down here. We'll put some gold in. And the paper pad itself has a little few gold highlights. So I'll just dab the brush in and try and pick some of those up. It's very subtle, but when the light catches it, just gives it that lovely illuminated feel. So that's the metallic watercolour. Next, I'm going to grab the Spectrum Noir sparkle pen. Shake it to wake it, as they say. Get that glitter going. And I'm just going to colour in the snow and the snowman's scarf. And this is very, very subtle, but when the light catches it, it gives it a lovely little shimmer. And that's all for the sparkle pen. Now I'm moving on to the 3D pearl effects. And this one is black. Just going to squeeze that out and ever so gently just give those buttons and little bits of coal on the snowman a 3D effect. And the little eyes as well. There we go. And I just spotted a little bit of snow on top of the hat that I forgot to add some sparkle to. So I'll just grab that sparkle pen back in and add a little touch of shimmer. And I don't know if the camera's picking up, but there's the teensiest little red holly berries on the snowman and snowwoman's hat. So I'm going to use this 3D pearl effect in the red. And just add the smallest little dots back in for those berries. There we go. And the last touch is this Dovecraft glitter glue in this beautiful iridescent. To use this a lot on our projects, but it's perfect for that wintry, icy feel. And where there is those kind of snowfall and snow spatter, I'm just going to pick that out with the glitter glue. And we're making this card as part of the Fancy Fold Challenge hosted by Monica Paper Mona on YouTube. And there's also Christine from Christine's Cards and Things and Monica Quilling Lady taking part. And each month they come up with a different fancy fold and they give you tutorials and inspiration to create your own fancy fold. And there's even a Facebook group where you can share your makes and get inspired with other crafters. So I'll leave all the links for that down below, and you can use the hashtag FFC challenge to follow along and see the past fancy folds and everyone else's creations. So I'm not going to cover every single snowdrop with the sparkle, just the odd one to pick it out. And this does take a little while to dry, so set your project somewhere safe, have yourself a nice hot cocoa, and then you can come back to it and finish off the rest of the card. So that's exactly what I'll do. I'll go and stick the kettle on for a nice little cocoa, and stay tuned as I'll be right back when this dries to show you how to finish off the card. So if you all had a nice little cup of cocoa, we're back and all our little stickles have dried. So that's the front of the card just about done. We just need to finish off the inside. So at the moment it's plain and we'll need a stopper. You could leave it plain, but I like to add another piece of pattern paper. So for this we've used the exact same die that we used to create our card base, so the largest one of our nesting dies, and we've just trimmed a slither off the top here to match, and we're just going to glue that into the centre here. There we go, that's that nice and stuck down, and as you can see it coordinates lovely with the front panel. Now as it's an easel card, we're going to need a stopper, and as this month's fancy fold card was a bauble, we decided instead of just using a disc or a sentiment for a stopper, we are going to use this little bauble die that we got from a D-stash. So we've just cut it out 3 times and layered that up together, and we're going to just take a shiny glittery one to match the front and stick that on top. Really handy tip when using intricate dies like this is to get yourself a fine tip nozzle glue bottle, and you can get these online for relatively cheaply. They normally come in packs of 2, and these fine tip applicators are really handy for intricate dies like this. And you just put a stainless steel pin in the top of the bottle and that will stop your glue from setting. So we'll just take that die and line that up, give it a good press to stick it together. And as an added little touch, I'm going to add a snowflake charm. So we've got our layered up die cut, and as an added little touch, I'm going to attach this snowflake charm that we had in our stash. And to do that, I'm just going to use some of this fine metallic thread in silver. Here we have our die cut, and we have attached our charm to the top, and this is what we're going to use as our stopper for the easel card. So bring the card back in, pop it up and have a look at where we'd like it to stand. I think that's quite nice there, and we'll grab our glue and just cover the back of that die cut again. And just slide that stopper into place. And there you have our finished Christmas bauble shaped easel card with a little bauble stopper. I really hope you've enjoyed this tutorial today. If you have, please consider hitting that like button. If you subscribe, we'd really appreciate it. And if you tickle the bell, you'll be notified the next time we make a video. And please check out the hashtag and the Facebook group and the links down below if you would like to see more fancy folds and get inspired. The only thing left to do is to pop them into an envelope, and here we've just used some of the scraps of the paper and the smaller nesting dies to make a little embellishment for the envelope, and we have lined the envelope with some of the matching papers. It's just a nice little touch for the Christmas cards. And it's a very dull day here in Scotland, but I hope the camera is picking up the beautiful shine that the watercolour metallic paints and sparkle pens gives to this design. A huge thank you for watching today. Until next time, happy crafting!